Ben is a regular plumber and jack of all trades. He works a lot and often comes home late at night. One day, he gets to his unfinished house after midnight and falls asleep right on the sofa. In the morning, his brother Michael wakes him up because Ben's daughter Olivia will arrive very soon, whom his ex-wife allowed to take her for a few days. Soon the woman and girl arrive, but Olivia is angry about something and won't talk to her father. The mother asks to bring the girl to school on time and not to take her fishing. The evening passes in silence, although the father tries to establish contact. Before bed, he comes to his daughter to sing the song he always sang when she was little. In the morning, he takes her to school and warns her that they will go fishing in the evening. The day goes by as usual. Ben calls his wife, reports about the evening, and asks for the meeting. Perhaps they can still somehow fix everything, but the woman does not want to talk about this. In the evening, the father meets the girl at school, and they go to the mountain near the river. Michael and his two daughters are already waiting for them, who are very happy to see Olivia. Ben, Olivia, and Hao cast their fishing rods and get down to what they love. Today the girl behaves almost normally, although the father notices her sadness, and the daughter finally admits that her mother has a boyfriend, which means that she and her father will not be together. She was an early child and believes that it was their mistake, but Ben refutes all of her conclusions. He loves both her and his ex-wife very much, and the main thing for him is that they are happy. Olivia calms down and the evening passes peacefully. The men roast marshmallows and reminisce about their parents, and then they all go to bed. Olivia admits that she wants to spend more time with her father. In the morning, Ben wakes up in an incomprehensible white room. Near him are two women in white, upon seeing whom the guy falls asleep again. The next time he wakes up, a man appears next to him and greets him. Ben assumes that he is in the hospital, but has absolutely no memory of how he got there. The man reveals that Ben is no longer on Earth, but on a planet they call Saltero, trillions of miles from his planet. Ben demands to bring his daughter, but the man says that she is not here. Ben demands to be released and refuses to talk to the man. And Ben discovers that he cannot leave the room because it is protected by some kind of force field. After this, the man agrees to listen to the aliens. Upon returning, the alien says that he was taken to Saltera in order to become a participant in the trial. The fact is that the rulers of Saltera decided to take over the Earth, but there are also opponents to this decision. Ben will have to speak at the trial and prove that Earthlings are worthy of deciding their own fate. Osik is his lawyer and will help Ben, but for now, the man is still weak and must rest. The next time Ben wakes up, he sees a woman by his bed and asks to be sent home. On the other side of the bed, there is an elderly man who again talks about the important role of the guy in the fate of the Earth. Later, all his supporters explain that there will be a trial tomorrow. Ben will perform twice, several days apart. He should answer the questions as honestly as possible, and the second time, he would be able to express his opinion. But for now, he would remain here. The day of judgment is coming. Ben finds himself in a hall where several aliens in front of him begin to ask questions about his life on Earth. The guy talks honestly about everything. When it comes to his family history, he admits that his union did not work out, but he has a daughter. He cannot describe his feelings because they need to be experienced. Ben talks about his parents, whose union was harmonious, but now, unfortunately, they are no longer there, which makes Ben feel pain. The guy cannot describe this feeling, but it is always with him. After the trial, a woman comes to him and asks him to call her Ella. Ben doesn't think he did very well, but he tried to be honest. It's difficult for him because he is not a speaker and doesn't know how to speak beautifully. Ella asks to talk about the loss of his parents. Ben remembers that they died in an accident when he was 16 and his brother was 14. They were helped by a neighbor who took custody of the boys. Ben is still tormented by the fact that he did not talk to his parents about his love, and now his daughter feels the same pain because she does not know where her father is now. Hearing this, Ella leaves, and the next morning, Ben wakes up at his parents' house. They are alive and happy to see their son. They spend the whole day together. Ben is absolutely happy. He comes to his senses in a forest. It turns out that he was allowed to live on an island for now, where nature is similar to that on Earth. Ben is very impressed after meeting his parents. Ella can't explain how they do it, but his pain should be easier now. On Earth, they will also come to this technology, but much later. Now Ben can walk and gain strength. The man spends the day in the forest, remembering his family. In the evening, he asks Ella to give him more data, because the better he knows the aliens, the more convincingly he can protect his planet. They make a fire, and Ben talks about his life. He remembers becoming a father at 17 years old. While his brother was studying, he had to get married. The guy worked very hard, saved up money to buy land and build a house, but one day, his wife simply left without saying anything. He has lost the point of finishing building this house. Now he is afraid that his daughter believes that her father abandoned her, and therefore is very worried. Ella admits that she has been studying the Earth all her life, but she didn't even know about this. Suddenly, Ben finds himself on an unknown plane, and Ella explains that they are in virtual reality. He can get here using the ring that she put on his finger. During the era of transformation, many began to escape from reality, and this technology was banned. They can say everything here, but no one should know that they were here. Ella says that the Earth was discovered in 1884, according to their chronology, and it was the most developed planet. Most civilizations self-destruct, but Earth was different. The aliens never interfered with the planet politically or scientifically, but they did occasionally take some people away and never bring them back. The fact is that they worry about planets with lower development. After all, when Earthlings go into space, they can show aggression. Salterra once also followed this path. They also had families and emotions, but with the development of artificial intelligence, all this became a thing of the past. Now they are one race with common goals, and each has its own AI built in, so the emotions familiar to Earthlings are not available to them. Some aliens disagreed, so there was a rebel. A small number of them left the planet and colonized Perursa, which is similar to Mars. They terraformed the planet and began to emerge to the surface. The old man Ben saw is Jotlip, the head of the council. He is almost 500 years old, and it was he who persuaded the council to bring a simple Earthling before attacking. The man takes off the ring and returns to the forest. The next day, Ben asks permission to go to the council in his clothes. He turns to the aliens and admits that he does not understand much, but asks them not to interfere in the affairs of his planet. He is one of billions and is not important, but it is impossible for him to live without emotions. Like other people without feelings, the meaning of life is lost. It hurts them, but without pain, they cannot know joy. And high intelligence does not mean happiness. The development of Salterra does not protect them from aggression because they are going to invade Earth. On Earth, of course, there is a lot of risk, pain, injustice, but there is the joy of love. So let them be given a chance to go their own way. He just wants to return to his daughter, and the council makes a decision. But suddenly it turns out that no one was going to return Ben to Earth. The man becomes desperate and after some time goes to bed and stops reacting to others. The aliens are worried because he might die, and only Jotlip understands what the problem is. Meanwhile, on Earth, Olivia wanders through the places she and her father visited and remembers the song he sang to her. One night on Salterra, Ella awakens Ben and asks him to find strength because the ship is already waiting for him. Now they are heading to Perursa, where after refueling, they will be able to fly to Earth. The couple makes it to the port, after which their ship takes off. Ben looks at space with delight. On Perursa, they are greeted with joy because this is the first meeting with representatives of Salterra in the last 800 years. The ruler of the planet thanks the Earthling for facilitating the reunification of the nation, because once the first doubters about the correctness of their path appeared, it means there is hope. Jotlip accompanies Ella and Ben on their way to Earth and repeats the words the man said at the council. He wants his fellow tribesmen to regain the ability to love and rejoice. Soon the ship reaches Earth's orbit. Ella admits that she will be forced to put him to sleep. He will end up where he was taken from. Ben asks her to fly with him, but she also wants to save her planet because she has learned to love. Ben wakes up in the snow by the river and goes home, where he is greeted by his brother and daughter. Later, he tells his loved ones about what happened to him. His brother, of course, doesn't believe him. The man disappeared for 2 months and the entire state was looking for him. It looks like he needs specialist help. But the daughter believes her dad. She knows that he wouldn't just leave and wants to hear about his flight. Father and daughter spend a lot of time together. The girl talks about her affairs, and her father teaches her to drive and continues building his house. But at night, he searches for Salterra in astronomical reference books. One day, he finds Ella's ring in his pocket, but does not dare to wear it. Ben puts it on the bedside table, and one night he notices that the ring begins to flicker. The man puts it on and finds himself in virtual reality where Ella is already waiting for him.